Hello everyone, this is my Fnaf AR video. A lot of people on Instagram wanted to see me post one of these because they need help with the game. So this is a tutorial that tells you what to do and how to unlock everything from the endoskeleton slots to the mods to the mechanics of the animatronics. Let's get into this video. The first topic we are going over is the endoskeleton slots. You can have a total of 9 endoskeleton slots and you can earn them in a matter of 2 ways. The first and free way to earn them is by earning them through streaks. It starts off as a streak of 5, a streak of 9, and then finally a streak of 13. The second way might require you paying some money because it requires fast tokens. The highest priced one is 3,000 fast tokens, and that's a little bit over $20, which I wouldn't recommend buying. I just watched the ads. You can watch about 10 ads a day, and they give you 10 fast tokens per ad, so that would be 100 fast tokens a day. It may take you a while, but you also have the daily rewards to help you, where it gives you 3 tasks, and you have to complete all 3 tasks in order to get your reward, and some of them end up being fast tokens. There are 4 main attacks that the animatronics use. There's the fake out, the charge, the static, and the haywire. The fake out is when the animatronic charges at you, but all you see is their eyes. If you zap them when they're like this, they won't attack you, but it drains your battery faster. The charge is when they are attacking you. They start off charging invisible with only their eyes visible, but then when they get closer, they start to appear, and that's when you need to shock them, otherwise you will die. The static is when a ton of static comes on your screen, and it is to prevent you from finding the location of the animatronic. And when this happens, it can also sometimes prevent you from using your shocker as well. The haywire is when the animatronic appears in front of you glitchy, and you need to look away as fast as possible. There are some special cases, however, and I will go over them when I go over the animatronics. This right here is a quick chart I made of all the animatronics they have so far, and the easiest to hardest animatronic. The endoskeleton is the easiest animatronic you can get. It mainly fake outs and charges, but will sometimes do static and haywire. Freddy isn't too different from the endoskeleton, other than the fact that he will haywire and static more often. Unlike Freddy, Chica moves a bit faster and she makes groaning noises similar to Bonnie. The way you can tell the difference between the two is whether or not there is a reverb on the groaning sounds. As I mentioned before, listen for the reverb in the groaning sounds. If there's reverb, then it's Bonnie. Bonnie has very little to no static, so you have to use your flashlight more often, but also Bonnie more sparingly. Also will attack you for a while before he actually charges at you. So, like I said, use the flashlight sparingly. Foxy will run around you quickly, and you can identify it's him by hearing his peg leg instead of the normal mechanical stomping from all the others. The reason I mention extra batteries is because not only does he go around you very fast, and you have to keep track of him, but you also need to outlast all the fake outs that he does. He does at least three to five per every time you verse him before he actually does the final charge. Balloon Boy is a harder animatronic because he's shorter, so you might not see him charging at you, which will cause you to die. But you can listen for the charging by determining whether or not he completes blowing up a balloon. When the balloon flies out of his hands, it most likely means he's doing a normal charge. When it's a really loud squeak, it either means that he's going haywire or he is faking you out. Baby is one of the hardest out of the original 7 that debuted in the release of version 1 in Fnaf AR. She walks fast and she gets agitated if you look at her for, I think, about more than a second and a half. For her, I'd give the same advice as Foxy: stock up on batteries, because you need to keep track of where she is, and she has very little to no static to identify where she is. The mask mechanic is only used for the toy animatronics, but it is basically the opposite of what you do for when they're haywiring. When they haywire, instead of their eyes being red, their eyes will be white. You look right at them, but you have the mask on. Now, without further ado, let's get into the toy animatronics. Toy Chica is the easiest out of the toys. You have to follow the static to find her for when she haywires, because she doesn't haywire in front of you. When she appears, you put the mask on and wait for her to go away. Toy Freddy is the same thing as Toy Chica, but there is a new mechanic added. Whenever the screen starts flashing red, it means that he's starting to drain your battery. You put the mask on to prevent this. Mangle has one of the most interesting mechanics by far. Every now and then she'll drop a piece of her, and you have to look around and find it within 5 seconds. If you don't, she'll jump scare you. Another tip is that you don't shock her. You have to look at her when she charges at you, but with the mask on, and that counts as a victory. Okay, so I know this doesn't go in order of the difficulty chart, but one of Springtrap's mechanics follows over to Toy Bonnie, so I put him here, since him and Toy Bonnie are both equally the hardest animatronics in the game. Basically, Springtrap is an animatronic where his eyes will start off white like the toy animatronics, and you either have to keep on looking at him, or if they start to fade to red, then you need to look away as fast as possible. He walks around really fast like Baby, and he has very, 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 very little to no static to indicate where he is. As I said, the mechanic from Springtrap where his eyes start off white and then go red carry over to Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie is basically the same thing as Springtrap, but you look at him when his eyes are white with the mask on, but when his eyes turn red, you look away, but you have to make sure your mask is still on. Remnant comes in many different colors, and depending on the color it is how much value it has. Here's a quick chart of all the different colors. Now it's time to talk about Dark Remnant and Shadow Bonnie. When you collect too much Dark Remnant, Shadow Bonnie will appear. What you do with him is you have to shine your flashlight at him. A good tip is when you shine your flashlight at him and he goes to disappear and teleport somewhere else, you turn your flashlight off. Otherwise, that will disable your flashlight for a little bit. He will get increasingly more difficult the more times you summon him. There are 2 visual disruption mods. There's the EM booster, which increases the chance of disruption by those percentages, and then the EM jammer, which increases the amount of shake to get rid of the static. There are 2 map movement mods. One is called the friction regulator, which decreases the attack time, and then hydrostatic booster, which increases attack time. There's only one attack movement mod, and it's called servo boosters, and it increases the movement speed by however many percentage. There are haywire mods. One's called the gear boosters, which decreases the look timer, or you could get the gear regulator, which increases the haywire chance. There's only one wear and tear mod, and it's called the hydropneumatic suspension. It decreases how much damage your animatronic gets from salvaging and from attacking other players. There are 4 stalking mods. There are 2 stalking actuators, where one can increase minimum stalking time and one can decrease max stalking time. There's the stalking booster, which decreases stalking time, and there's the stalking regulator, which increases stalking time. CPUs can be earned by defeating said animatronic, and it mimics how they act and their voice. And with that final note, this is my Five Nights at Freddy's AR tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.